such a great Clark, and we had a lot of fun together. There was one episode, I want to say season 1, was a bizarro episode, and everything was reversed. And we really liked that one because we got to kind of step out of the typical Lois and Clark, and it was the only time I think Lois and Clark ever really got into a huge fight, and we loved it. He was spitting on me. He was so angry. We loved that we actually got to fight. And then I loved, David directed a very intensely emotional episode for me, season 4, episode 3. And he did a wonderful job, and he also directed on his show A Million Little Things. And but yeah, it was also great. We got very lucky. He was on A Million Little Things in Vancouver, Canada, and I was on Superman and Lois. And it doesn't usually happen that 2 actors would be so fortunate to be filming.
Superman and Lois also shot in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay, and my question for David is, you directed your first episode on Grimm, and obviously the preparation and on top of it, starring in the show is very hard work, but was it directing on the actual day actually easier because you all knew each other pretty well by then?
So you're asking if directing on Grimm was easier?
Yeah, because you were all close friends by this time.
Yeah, I mean, so I was the lead, I was Grimm. So what are they gonna do? Tell me I'm doing a bad job? It's like, I remember when I was doing it, I realized as I was directing that they were praising me a little too much for the things that I was doing. And I was like, oh, there's a hierarchy, and they're trying to, be nice to me. But in reality, the crew and the actors made me look extremely good. I think that when an actor directs on a show that they're on, the crew thinks that maybe there's a phrase in the United States called "they're going to phone it in," meaning I wouldn't try that hard. I think they saw how hard I was trying, and they really appreciated that. But it's nerve-wracking, starting to direct people that you act with. But it was a really wonderful experience. I don't know, how did it go for you?
I already answered that question.
Did it seem weird when I was directing you on the Grimm? She said no.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's get a little spotlight going somewhere. There, okay. We thought it was gonna be you, but no. Hi.
Hi. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous right now. First, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming. I used to watch Grimm with my family when I was younger. I was like 13 years old when I started watching it, and I'm 26 now. So yeah, I'm a fan of the show for a long time. So it's really great to see you. And to my question, sorry. Grimm is like a comfort show for a lot of people here, I think. So what is your show, like your comfort show, that you love to watch?
Well, are you asking what other shows we like to watch?
Yeah, what like your comfort show, like I don't know, if you're sad or something, then I think.
Well, as a woman, I think I can speak for women where I have just this bizarre affection for bloody and gory true crime documentaries. It's when I go to sleep to at night, it makes me sleepy.
My wife is like, I can't sleep again for some reason. Like, do you think it's what you consume right before you go to bed as you drift off? The worst crimes? Anyhow.
We heard The Traitors is good. We got into a Korean game show recently called The Devil's Plan. So,
wait, who has seen The Devil's Plan?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't it so good? So it's a
good.
Korean game show, you know, Korean comes out really fast. It's like moving. It was hard to keep for me, at least. I'm a dummy. It was hard to keep up.
It's basically just a bunch of smart people competing, and it's really compelling.
It's so good.
As far as fiction, we watched Succession together. I really love Shrinking. I think it's a very sweet show. The one with Jason Segel, I think it's on Apple. I love the acting actually on that show. And then, what else?
I just watched The Office over and over again. I did that on the plane. I mean, I've seen it 1,000 times. But you know, it's like a sedative. It kind of calms my nerves.
I haven't watched The Penguin yet. Should I? Yeah? Okay.
One person says yes. A resounding one person yes. Thank you so much. Do you have any other questions?
Thank you. If I could ask another one? Sure. What is your favorite Disney movie if you have one? Or if one is too difficult, then your top 3?
Disney movies?
Yes.
I can get there. I have a 6.5-year-old daughter, so I've been watching. Pixar's part of Disney, right?
Yes.
I
dug Brave. There was a movie called Brave that I liked.
You really like Luca.
Because of Italy. I mean, it's the same story they tell every time. I feel different. Go find yourself. I mean, that's kind of it. Just wherever.
I like Frozen 2. Better than Frozen 1.
Oh.
When she's galloping across the ice and there's tears streaming down her face and she's singing that song, every time I tear up. I'm gonna go with Brave too, because whenever I watch that with my daughter, she gets very smushy and huggy with me, because it's a movie about...
Like a mops.
Yeah. It's a movie about a mother and a daughter's connection, really.
I loved Inside Out. These are all very children's. I loved Inside Out. It was fantastic. I was the angry guy.
I didn't love the second one though. I felt like there was too much going on.
Well, they added puberty, right?
Yeah.
Who liked that? No one liked puberty. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
There was someone over there. Oh, here we are. Everybody's waiting for that light to decide what's going to happen for us.
They don't know? Oh, the mic is active. I'm here.
Hi, how you doing? There we go.
The light picks up. Great. First of all, as well, The Penguin as Shrinking are great shows, so everybody watch it. It's fantastic.
Done.
And coming back to Grimm, were you aware that most of the German parts or words or names were actually made up? They were not real German words, or they took 2 German words and combined it in a way nobody has ever heard before?
We both want to answer this. I'll let you.
It didn't take long for us to be like, we're doing something else here. This isn't German. And of course, Silas, who played Monroe, would research that stuff. He's like, man, we're doing it wrong, you know?
You were.
No, what I was going to say is, it took probably 1 episode, because I was very active on, it was, this was sort of the height of Twitter when Grimm came out, and we were live tweeting on Friday nights whenever we could. And it probably took 1 episode for a real German person to say, but you're doing it wrong.
And right away.
And that is not how it's pronounced, and that's not a real word. So it did not take long.
And what is your name, sir?
Chris.
Chris. So we had, God love her, we had a dialect coach.
Sorry.
And she really took her job seriously. And she would send us audio files of how to say the German words.
Blutbaden.
Exactly. And
Wesen.
Wesen. I don't think she was doing that great of a job. But no, it was, we Americans do what we do. And I apologize to all of you that we butchered those words.
Yeah, not only the words in the later seasons.
A lot of other things too.
No, when you went to Germany, actual Germany in the show, didn't look like German at all.
Don't think for a second. There were conversations about us coming to Germany, and everybody was so excited, and then NBC was like, "Are you crazy? We do not have the budget for that."
Yeah. So either we pay for you to go to the woods in Oregon, where you're already living, or we fly everybody to Germany and find a television crew. Yeah, no, we did not go to Germany.
Yeah, it wasn't realistic, sorry. But the show was great.
Well, this is what it felt like. So you feel the way I felt when I watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Because that, I think, was supposed to be the United States, and something in me was like, this ain't right. I think that was shot in Munich. Am I right?
I don't know.
So I'm referencing a very old movie. But yeah, when they try to trick you, it never
No,
works.
it's supposed to be in England. Where was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the original?
It was shot in Germany, I know
Yeah,
that.
but where was it supposed to take place?
Wasn't it a fantasy world as well? Because of the Oompa Loompas and something?
Oh, the Oompas, yeah.
We don't
The Oompas don't live here.
They're like not. Just get you up here to help us.
Okay, we lost you. Okay, great.
Oh. Yeah, you're right, it's a magical world. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Kay's jumping in the car.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi, I have one question for each of you. And I have to ask Bitsie first. It's about Superman and Lois. And since not everything was on TV yet in German, I only could watch it in English on Amazon. If someone doesn't want spoilers, please don't listen. I wanted to ask of the cancer storyline that met very much with me, because my mom is now in her 5th year of remission, and I thought it was very well played, even for the short episodes it was in. And I wanted to ask, did you do special research for that? How went that thing?
Yeah, so for people who haven't seen Superman and Lois, the main arc for season 3 of the show was that Lois had a very, very aggressive form of breast cancer. And when the producers, it was very collaborative, especially with me and Tyler as the leads of the show, and they called and they said, we have an idea where Superman, who can heal anything, who can cure anything, who can save anyone, where he can't fix this, which was compelling. And he can't, save the love of his life. And they called and I said, do you want to do it? And I said, it makes me a little nervous doing something that heavy on a superhero show. But the reality is, it really was more of a family drama when you look at it as a whole than a superhero show. And I was intimidated. I actually said I wanted to shave my head. And they said, Warner Brothers is not going to go for that. And I said, well, I don't want this to be pretty then. This can't be a pretty kind of TV breast cancer storyline, and if that's what your idea is, then I don't want to do it. And so certain things like with the hair loss, because she went through chemo and radiation and a double mastectomy, to show hair loss without me, Bitsie, losing any of my hair, I proposed, we threw in a ton of extensions, like fake hair, at the beginning of the season. And then as she's having chemo, not only does she have the cold cap on, which helps prevent hair loss during chemo, but we would strip out an extension or two. So you can kind of see the progression of some sort of hair loss. But the most important thing I did is I got in touch with this very famous oncologist in Los Angeles, Dr. Christy Funk, and she put me in touch with the kind of breast cancer Lois had is the deadliest. And so she said she only had one surviving patient who had had this kind of breast cancer. So I spoke to her, this woman Diana, and I spoke to another woman who was one of the heads of Apple, and she was a single mom, and she was still actively going through it, and she had this awful condition too, where she's allergic to pain medicine. So she could never take anything for the pain after her mastectomy or for anything. It was awful. She had to be separated from her kids for 2 months because she was so afraid that they would touch her. It was too agonizing. And so a lot of it was just speaking to women who had gone through it and speaking to moms. And I learned a lot too. And I've been kind of advocating for young women or men get breast cancer too, especially if it runs in the family, test for the BRCA gene, and if it runs in the family, to get a mammogram earlier. Because of the 11 women I interviewed getting ready for this, and I know I'll wrap it up soon, 3 or 4 of them have been diagnosed in their 20s or early 30s. And right now, at least in the US, they don't recommend getting mammograms until you're 40. And I was shocked how many of the women I spoke to were that young when they were diagnosed, and they had no family history. But I'm so glad to hear that your mom is in remission. And yes, I did. The most important research I did, and I did a lot of online research too, to the point where I was catching discrepancies in the script, where I was saying, no, it's metastasizes by stage 3, not 4 or whatever. Yeah.
Something that's very frustrating about network TV, even though it's wonderful, is she was taking it extremely seriously and wanted to do right by the actual experience of this type of cancer. And it just inevitably is not going to be done perfectly true to what the experience would be. And you were kind of frustrated by that, understandably, because you really wanted to do, and you did a wonderful job with what they gave you. But she took it so unbelievably seriously, and I was just very proud of you. And wonderful news about your mother.
Yeah, now the second question, the lighter one. David, when I saw you at the end of Superman, I floated from my sofa because I was laughing so much.
That's a girl. That's the right
How
response.
did that exactly happen that you played Joe in a version of one of the twins?
So I had directed an episode earlier in the season, and the creator of the show is kind of neighbors with us, and he's a friend of mine now, and he just kind of pitched it to me. He's like, "You won't do this, will you?" I'm like, "Yes, I will." So for those of you who have not seen, at the very end...
Don't give it away. Just say, at some point in the show, there's a flash forward, and he plays one of my sons. So that was very awkward for me.
I played my wife's son on television.
That was my thought on why I cracked up laughing so much.
It's ridiculous.
Laughing on set that day, it was very awkward.
I didn't even have any lines, but I walk in the scene, I have to walk in and hug her, and I whispered into her ear and go, "Hi, Mommy."
Nope.
We haven't slept in the same bedroom since.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, we're here.
Hi, how's it going?
Fine, thanks. My question, you both have played bad guys in a way. Other actors said playing bad guys is way more fun than playing good guys. So could you confirm that? And why is it more fun?
Wonderful question. What do we like better, playing the good guy or the bad guy? No one's gonna say the good guy. It's always more fun to play the bad guy. It just is. You get to make, your choices are, there are far more choices you can make. You can act out. You can, I don't know, audiences kind of remember you more.
David's on a TV show right now. I don't know if it's over here yet, called High Potential, starring Caitlin Olsen from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he is the main villain. And
It's
he's
so fun.
crushing it, and people love him.
They're very weirded out by me.
Yeah.
People are very bothered by my character.
They're not
That is
used
fun.
to seeing him as a villain, and it's so fun.
If you look, you can see the green eyes, you see the jawline, you think, good guy. No, bad guy.
I get that question a lot on Grimm, and I always feel like I played 3 characters on the show, and I was so lucky to play 3 characters. It was Juliet, then there was Juliet the Hexen Beast, and then it was Eve. And I never viewed Eve as being villainous. I know she did villainous things, but I did feel like what happened to her was a little bit unfair. But I did love the character a lot. But when I first got to be sort of bad girl Juliet, that was really fun. I know everybody got mad at me for burning the trailer down, but that trailer was getting burned down in that episode by somebody because it was so difficult to shoot in, and it was so small, and you have sweaty, stinky actors and cameramen, and
Why am I the sweaty, stinky person?
just like,
You think you smell like a rose the whole time?
you have actors in this tiny little trailer, the camera guys, the focus puller, the boom operators. It gets really hot and they're really fast. And so they had been thinking, like, this is not sustainable. We have to figure out a new, cool space that they can do their, Grimm work in. And that was right around the height of Juliet's bad girl phase. And so I burned it down, and I got death threats. I got literal death. I could not believe it. Somebody threatened to behead me on Facebook because for burning the trailer down. And that's
He had you or Juliet?
well, it was my Facebook page.
Certainly.
So it was a little scary, and I understand that sometimes fans, want to only see us as the character, but that I was like, whoa. And I remember writing back, I'm like, you do realize you're talking to an actor, and that was scripted, and the trailer wasn't, but that was intense, and I still have people come up and they're like, I love you so much, but I'm still so mad at you for burning down the trailer.
Oh, stinky trailer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hi there.
Hi, one last question. Do you still hang out with Bud from Grimm?
Bud? Oh my gosh, how great is Bud?
We haven't seen him, but we love Danny
I
Bruno.
just texted with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bud, the guy, his name is Danny Bruno. He was an actor from Portland, Oregon. And everybody moved up to Portland to shoot it. He was already living there. He was supposed to be in one episode.
He
and
was
then
only
crushed it.
We call him Butt Crack Bud because I'm shooting a scene with him and he's fixing the refrigerator, and he was so good and so charming. And also, I don't recall there being a Besson on the show by that point that was lovable and that wasn't scary. And I remember calling either Norberto, our main director, or the producers, Jim and David, and I was like, hey guys, there's this actor. Were you in that scene too?
I was the lead of the show.
I didn't know if you were in this.
I was in every scene.
But we were like, this guy is awesome, bring him back as much as possible. And then he ended up being, one of the primary recurring characters on the show, and quite beloved.
He moved to LA for a little while, and we would hang out with him. Then he moved back to Portland. We just text back and forth. I don't get to see him enough, but my gosh, he is the best. And presumably you liked his character, right?
Yes.
I will be sure to let him know.
I also like Monroe's. He's one of my favorites.
Say that again?
He also liked Monroe's.
Oh yeah, Monroe's not so bad either. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
My question would be, which versions of the fairy tales do you prefer, the original ones or the modern public, very beloved versions of the Grimm fairy tales?
Well, one of them paid me. So I tend to like that one. You go for it.
Having a 6.5-year-old daughter, I'm gonna go with the modernized version of the fairy tales. But I myself, my mother's of Spanish heritage, and I had been told La Llorona when I was growing up. So that was one of my favorite episodes to film. I think that was season 3 or 4, and I got to speak Spanish. But that one I connected with because they would freak us out, and we'd have to be home before dark, or La Llorona was going to get us. And so it works. I mean, it was They were effective. Our daughter obviously she has a big Grimm fairy tale book, but I don't think it's the sort of scary, bloody
Has
ones.
no idea what that show is.
No.
She'll see my face on Netflix sometimes. She's like, Daddy,
Yeah.
should I press play? I'm like, don't. Do not press play on that, darling. You will stop growing.
Yeah, one of her best friend's mom was just saying, "Oh, we're gonna watch it with the kids." I was like, "No. They're 5 and 6. No, you don't understand. Like 8 earliest, and even that, maybe not."
I liked how dark it went on Grimm. I really loved. Sometimes I would truly get creeped out by the actors who were in full prosthetic makeup. Krampus, speaking of, there was an episode called Krampus, and Krampus is a German thing, right? Okay, my apologies. I never learned anything. But my lord, did that actor creep me out. It was really fun. So I prefer the Grimms, like the way our show did it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hello. David, this question is for you. I really love your show, A Million Little Things. And I was wondering,
Thank you.
I was wondering, is there any special anecdote from shooting that you want to share with us? A very funny moment.
From A Million Little Things?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, A Million Little Things was very unlike Grimm. It was, as you know, go get a Kleenex box because people cry all the time watching that show. So often we would have to be in a sad state of mind, but we still had time for hijinks. What's a funny thing that happened? Oh my gosh. Well, here's one. This isn't that funny, but it is something that happened. I was in a wheelchair for some time in that show, and I had to play basketball from a wheelchair, which I'm not good at basketball, and I'm also not good at being in a wheelchair. So they needed me to hit like a little layup to move on with the scene. And I'm telling you, it took 30, 40 takes for me to do the easiest thing in the world. And my colleagues were having a good time with that. But I don't know, we joked around all the time backstage. Then we had to like lock it in once we were shooting. But thanks for liking that show. That was a fun time. It was a fun change of pace from Grimm.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yep.
It's really nice to have you both here and you have a wonderful chemistry. My question to the both of you is, what is the most memorable moment behind the scenes of Grimm?
Oh my gosh, there are some that just come to mind right away. I messed around with Bree. I kind of pranked her in the middle of the scene. I feel so bad about it. She had to open up. She just had to like open up the trailer door or something. And there was lotion on set, so I'm like, she's gonna touch the door, so I just put lotion all over it. But then it was like a serious scene for her, and she had to grab it, and she didn't have another take, and I just saw her look at me with such rage in her eyes. I think you got spared that night. What are some funny ones?
Well, we did have a lot of fun shooting. I think it was called Love Struck, season 6,
That was
episode
really
7, where everybody falls in love with somebody else, and then Hank falls in love with himself. And that was fun because we were on location at a really beautiful hotel, and it was such a silly episode. So it was quite a departure from what we were used to filming. And then I remember we went with Silas and Bree on like a little Apple tour.
Yeah, so during this episode, we all stayed in a classic hotel, kind of a little further away. And yeah, we're just going on a little train ride, like Apple tour, petting zoo. I remember alpaca.
Yeah.
I remember petting some type of alpaca.
Yeah, that was a silly episode. That was fun.
That was really fun.
Trying to think what else. I played a really good prank on David. Doesn't get much better than this, honestly. So
She does say so herself.
So I had been driving an Audi. I love my German car. And he had been driving a different car, and then he at some point got an Audi, and the keys looked exactly the same. And he was so excited to drive his sports car to work the day he had this new car.
Audi S5. It was very fun.
And so throughout the day, he had played some pranks on me, and I realized, I'm like, oh, our keys look the same, and he's not used to this car. And so it was towards the end of the night, I took my key, and I put it in the center console where he had left his key, and then I locked his car, and then ran off with his key. And it was just really fun, because he had been showing the car off, like, you kind of go, and all the transpo guys are like, David, show us the car, and he's kind of walking around, and he's like, yeah, it's pretty cool, right? And check this out. Check this out. Sorry, guys, I mean, there's a key. It's supposed to open, right? The key, you know, and this is going on. So I'm hiding underneath the wardrobe truck, filming all of this, like a tire this big, just delighted, because this is going on. And then we were dating at this point, so I knew he was coming because I had wrapped earlier. That's why I had time for the hijinks. I knew he was going to eventually come to my house, but this went on for like 10 minutes, and then the transpo guys are like, you know, we thought Audis were good cars. What's wrong with your car? And then at some point, David was getting a ride over to my place, and then I jumped out and told him, and I think I made you feel silly.
It was a little flirt on her end. I'm gonna go ahead and say. Yeah, we had a blast on that show. Just crazy, good times.
I think this is your.
That is a piece of tape stuck to the ground. There's some of the hijinks right there. Thank you so much for the question.
Hello.
Hello.
First of all, I have to admit I haven't watched Grimm.
Hey, that's okay.
I watched a million little things. And the second thing I have to admit, at first I didn't like Eddie.
Well, there you go. I cannot please.
He cheated on his wife. I didn't
Sure. Oh,
like
yeah,
him.
my character.
But he had a great character development. And I liked how you sang the songs. And at the end, I really felt sorry for you for the decision you had to make for Gary. That Gary wanted to die and wanted you to help him. And that I really felt sorry. I had to watch my mother die of cancer, and I know how hard this is to do nothing but watch. And she always said to me, if I was an animal, somebody would save me, somebody would finish this, but so nobody helps me, and I have to suffer all the time, and that was very difficult to watch. It was 20 years ago, so I can talk about it, but it was a very difficult time.
So sorry to hear that.
The last thing, it's not a question, if you talk with Silas, tell him I'm very sorry he didn't come here. I loved him in Prison Break, and he was very great. And he was here some years ago, and we had a great conversation about football. And I wanted to finish it, but he didn't come back. So, if you talk to him, say hi.
I will talk to him, and I will say hi.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you so much.
Hello.
Sir.
Not used to the spotlight, but my question is Grimm related, and too close. For the most of the time, Julia and Nick were a great couple. Everyone was used to them as a couple, and then came Adelant. And my question is, when you did the readings or get the script for this big major change, what were your reactions? What were your thoughts about it?
Well, we love Claire Coffey, the person who played Adeline. She was wonderful. It felt weird when I read that script. It just felt like, what are we doing? But, you know, sometimes they like to just shake the snow globe and see what happens, you know what I mean? What did you think?
It didn't quite make sense to me, but it made sense in a practical way, which is that Bree Turner had been pregnant on Grimm, and they had to hide it, and it's hard to hide a pregnancy. And then Claire got pregnant with her son Cal, and I don't know if they wanted to hide it again. Was sort of what I had heard, and so they were like, well, let's write the pregnancy into the show. My personal issue with that storyline was that when she had gotten pregnant, she had morphed as Juliet. So to me, the fact that there wasn't consent involved, I had issues with, because he thought he was making love to Juliet. And I will always take umbrage with that. And I know a lot of other fans feel the same way. I go to Comic-Cons a lot, and a lot of people don't like that. I think...
Valid concern.
Yeah, but...
Our writers just loved, kind of, as the seasons kept going on, we had more and more episodes, just completely giving actors absolutely new things to do. I think one of the things they saw in you was that you had more range than your character was being given. So I think they gave you Eve and all of these new things to do because they wanted to let her kind of flex her acting muscles a little bit. Yeah, that was a wild turn.
Yeah, and then, you know, what I always say to fans, because I do have a lot of fans come up to me at cons and they're upset about the whole Adeline thing. I'm like, well, you know what, we're married in real life. So, you get your happy
Consolation prizes.
There's your consolation prize, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what did you think?
It was really a surprise for me. Adeline, I always thought that when the character first was introduced, I thought of it as a villain of the week.
Yeah.
And then she kept coming back, had a really great redemption arc when she lost her powers, and that was the time when I really thought, okay, that's a really great actress. It was really fun to watch it.
Sure.
It was fun to watch how she was suffering a little bit, because you always thought, okay, she deserved it a little bit.
Sure, people like watching bad people suffer. Kind of like my character Eddie, for anybody who saw it, but yeah.
But it was, at the end, she was a very great character. Yeah.
Totally, the writers put every character through crazy stuff on this show.
Yeah.
Did every actor on the show play a different character within the show? Maybe not Silas. Reggie had Pika. I don't know. Yeah, it's one of those fantasy shows you can throw everything, all of these different type of narratives out there. But really good question. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
Absolutely. I think so.
Oh.
Hello.
Just a little request from the tech guys. Please hold your mics upright. Thanks.
Oh. Thank you, tech guys. Hello.
Hi, welcome. My family and my friends, we love the series Grimm, absolutely. I don't know how often we look at in the TV, so thank you very much for that. Because I love also the fairy tales from Grimm and from other states, so it's special for us to see this. And I want to know, if you could choose which animal do you would be as a Wesen, David?
Wesen.
Yeah.
You're pronouncing it wrong. Wesen? No. Who would I be? First of all, thank you, and I'm glad that you enjoyed the show and your friends and family. Oh man, this is not okay. Either the blue button. How do I pronounce that in real life? All right, we're doing okay. I would either be just the original blue button. I love. I mean, he's the guy, right? Or there was one character, one episode. I don't even remember what he did, but I know that he played a blobfish, and I want to be that character because we were a show where animals and creatures are doing extraordinary things, and then in the midst of that, there's just a blobfish who doesn't do anything. So maybe him. Just get all jowly and, What about you, babe?
And Bitsie, you're a Hexenbiest in German, is it? But it's fine.
Maybe a Mauvais The saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, the saber-tooth. Mauvais dent. I don't know. It was 2012.
Yes.
So I know if I walk through the city, so I look in the eyes and the faces from the people, and sometimes so I see the bird or the mouse, and so it's like from this series, so it's very, very funny.
100%. And let me say this. Sometimes as an actor, during an episode, we would sit backstage in the green room, and I wouldn't have been introduced to the people who came in just for the episode. But sometimes I would look at a person, I'm like, oh, I know what they're playing. He's playing the blobfish, for sure. Sometimes it was really well cast.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
So just so you guys know, I have to take off. So if anybody has a specific question for me, now would be a good time to ask. And then of course I'll be around to talk to you guys on Saturday and Sunday. But
It could be a question about our marriage. It can be, how do you put up with that imbecile, David? I'm the imbecile. There's not a lot of. I can see when they put the spotlight on a person, but this usually means that no one's asking a question. And
all right.
we're in time.
Okay.
Tulloch.
I'm off then.
Go eat food.
I will see you in a little while.
I'll see you in a little while.
Yes.
Peace
Bye.
out.
I'll see you guys in a bit at the opening ceremonies and then Saturday and Sunday. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm Lori, another one of the MCs.
Oh, wonderful to meet you.
Yeah, there's a whole batch of us. So
multiplying backstage.
we're multiplying.
Of course.
Having so much fun. Now, would you like me to stay up here? Are you happy on your own?
Do whatever you like. Your presence is only adding to the situation. I'll say.
Well, Because I have to say, I try and do my research, and I have to finish season 5. It was 5 seasons, right?
Talking about Grimm?
Yeah.
6.
6. Okay.
Huge success.
I got to. I'm at the beginning of 5.
God.
And I just went and I just started watching. I couldn't stop.
Wow. Well, that's great of you to do that research.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
She's jealous.
just
This is just friendship, babe. We're just friends.
We just met.
She said, do I have the room key? Yes. Now I won't have the room key, so that'll be fun. Have fun.
You got
Are you going to be up there? We'll figure something out.
Yeah.
We have phones, you know, these things.
Just make sure you let him in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when you knock, let him in. So, gosh, well, here we are. I'll get in one quick question.
Absolutely.
It was such an epic series because as I knew time was running out and I was going to get on an airplane and come here, I sort of started doing advance watching and it was just got crazier and crazier. Was there anything that you thought when it finished, were you pleased with where your character was? The detective, do you feel like, yes, that's a good ending for him?
I think Nick was in a show like Grimm, where things are going off the walls and there's, rules to the universe that do not apply to our universe. I think there has to be a character who's sort of the anchor. And as an actor, sometimes I would get to see all the fun things the other characters could do and I would get a little jealous. But narratively speaking for the show, I think I'm happy with who he was and where he ended up. And yeah, he was walking the line, trying to hold it all together. I do feel like our last season was a little rushed, but they either pull the plug and you don't get to write a short season, or you wrap it up and you wrap it up. Yeah.
Because you seemed to, I sort of, every now and again, I wanted you to kind of break loose a little, because you looked like you could have been like way more hilarious. But clearly, as a detective, you had to walk that line.
We got a note one time from the network and from the writers. I think it was like smiling in a scene. They're like, this is called Grimm. We don't want him to make fun. Like, all right.
Because there was times when I'd go, that's hilarious.
Exactly.
And it was really tiny and small.
Correct.
And it was kind of like, oh, it was nice that there was like more. But they obviously didn't.
They didn't like it, they didn't want it. Yeah.
Those senses of humor.
Sure.
So I'm breaking in and stealing.
No, do, please.
Questions. Is there a spotlight? There they are.
Hi.
Hi again. I want to ask, I always thought Grimm was kind of a roller coaster. They threw me for several loops where I was like, what the hell is happening now?
You and me both.
Yeah, and I want to ask, what was for you the most surprising thing? Because I remember somewhere in the middle, I was like, did I miss some episodes? What the hell? But I didn't miss anything.
No, just a giant leap taken by the writers. So were there storylines where I was like, what is happening? When they turned me into a zombie, perhaps? That was one. I'm like, what is going on? It was fun. I'll tell you what wasn't fun. When I was zombie Nick, they put in contacts. I don't wear contacts. I have wonderful vision. I don't need anything. They put in contacts in my eyes that were like this big, wrapped that like covered the entire eye. That was unpleasant. What else? Hank falling in love with himself, season 6, that was fun. There were just so many. There were so many off the wall. Jack the Ripper, when the captain played Jack the Ripper, had to have a Cockney accent. What was going on there? No one knows. But yeah, I mean, that was sort of the fun of Grimm too, you know? What was something that struck you as, what? out of left field.
The story with the baby when, what's her name, Adelaide, I think?
Adeline?
Yeah, thank you. Long time ago. When she was out of country and then kind of prisoner from those other people. And
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, but it was really, I was like, did I miss an episode?
So wait, she was out of the country in a prison?
No, but those people wanted to use her and did hold her in a room for quite some time, when I remember it right. And that storyline was something where I was like, how did that happen? Did I miss a couple scenes? And I needed some time to get into it. I mean, in the end, everything made sense.
Sure. Well, wait, are we talking about the royals, perhaps?
Yeah, that. And did they tell you in advance, or was it a surprise for you as much as for us viewers?
There wasn't a lot of time for conversation. It was when you're making a show of 22 episodes, like the train leaves the station and you are the writers are trying to keep it moving, the actors are trying to keep it moving and trying to stay sane and make good choices. There wasn't space or time for, hey, what do you guys think if, you would get a script and we would just do it, And then if it was a storyline that I was not involved in, sometimes I wouldn't even know it was happening until I saw the show. Like, oh, wow, that's what you were doing that day. So yes, there were some surprises.
So it was more like we trust the process for you.
Oh yeah. I was a cog in a wheel. Is that right? Yeah. That's exactly. I had my lane and I stuck to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we already heard, David, you've been in Grimm, you've been in A Million Other Things, and in High Potential, which is 3 very different shows and it's 3 very different characters. We already heard that the characters, I think most actors actually like to play best are the bad characters. But what's the kind of character that you haven't played yet that you would really like to play?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you for the compliment that was embedded in that question. Nicely done. I think I get cast as a certain thing because that's how it works. I would love more comedy stuff. That would be fun. There was some of it in A Million Little Things, but not a ton. Yeah, I would love some comedy. Get to be zany, have a little laugh. Why not? Yeah. But the villains, man, oh my gosh, this thing I'm playing on High Potential now is such a joy to do. Anyway, thank you very much.
Germany will have to wait another year to see that, unfortunately. But I think we're all looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You began to direct some of the episodes on Grimm.
I only did one episode of Grimm. I wanted to do many, many more, but they're like, we don't trust this guy to direct. And then I did one, and they said, oh, he did okay, but this show's ending now. So anyway.
Hello.
Hi.
So I know that you have a dog, but my question is, what is your favorite dog breed? Other than Park?
Other than mops? That's the greatest word in the world. Why couldn't I? Favorite dog breed. Okay, so I'm from the Midwest of the United States. Very classic. That was, you have your golden retrievers, you have your Labradors, so I love them. Then you move West Coast. It's the world of pugs, it's the world of French bulldogs. Bitsie and I had a French bulldog named Henry, who was the love of our little life. So I love a French bulldog. However, we could probably breed them to be a little healthier, couldn't we? That's probably a smart thing, right? But you only learn that after you, but Frenchies are so cute and so fun, and so aloof. Like, oh, why don't you like me? Oh, I love you even more. Anyhow, what about you?
My favorite dog breed is Irish Wolfhound.
Oh, those are the big boys, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not a joke. That's the opposite of a French bulldog. If I've ever lived. Amazing that they are sort of the same thing, though, right? They all came from the same thing. Do you have an Irish Wolfhound?
Yes.
Nicely done. Right around here?
Yeah.
Oh, how safe you must feel at home. I don't at all. Marvin is barely even a doorbell, let alone a guard dog. You know? Anyhow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love his name is Marvin.
Marv's a good. Are you from the States?
Canada.
Okay, where in Canada?
I was raised in Ottawa, and then we moved to Vancouver.
Okay.
And then I went to New Zealand, and
You went to New Zealand.
that's where I've been.
And now you're from New Zealand now?
Yeah.
There we go. Vancouver's lovely.
It's very nice.
Okay.
I'm so lucky.
We're just two people chit-chatting. Don't mind us.
Oh, is there a...
We have 5 minutes left, and then
And you implode?
Yeah, I turn into that blobfish I was referencing earlier.
You're trying to get into your hotel room.
Exactly. Good luck.
Is there anyone that has any other questions? No.
Some people are looking.
They're looking. Be brave. Be brave. Be bold.
We have one.
This day will never come again. Oh.
Hello.
Maybe, no, she should just stand up.
I was just wondering how you would describe Grimm to somebody who doesn't see it or saw anything of it.
Oh, wow. I would say, have you ever tripped on mushrooms and then watched Law and Order? That's pretty much where we are. I guess that's actually a pretty good description. I've never said that before. Yeah, I'd say fairy tales exist. It's also Law and Order, and enjoy the evolution of Nick Burkhardt's haircut. It was arguably the worst hair in the history of all of mankind, season 1. All I know is they were using a flat iron. I don't know what was going on. Anyhow, does that sound about right? Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I was very surprised that there wasn't some storyline of some reporter coming in and going, wow, there's been so many dead people.
Yeah.
Like really badly killed. And
Shot when they're running away. Not the best police work.
no one ever
That's a really good
seemed to
point.
investigate.
That's a really good point. I do think they had a lot of characters who didn't know what was going on. And a little bit wondering, so maybe like Sergeant Wu took that place, like what's going on here? But that's a very good call. That would have been a nice part. 100%.
Hello again.
Hello again.
So I started watching Body Moon recently, or kind of today, like as I prepared for the con. I haven't finished it yet, but I was like wondering, well, how was shooting like with a close friend of yours and writing it together, I guess?
I can't quite hear. Did you get that?
Like the body.
No, it's hard. Say it again.
Body Moon, like the movie.
Oh, Body Moon.
Yes.
How was that shooting it?
Yes. With a
Honeycomb? Isn't that a word, Buddy Moon? Honey buddies? How would you say Buddy Moon in German? Is Honeycomb a thing? What does that translate to? Honey buddies. Honey buddies, okay, Honeycomb. Okay, yeah, I filmed a movie called Buddy Moon, or Honeycomb, with my German friend named Flulaborg. And he's brilliant. And he's a lot of energy. So shooting that was extremely fun. And I did that in between season 3 and 4 of Grimm. So I was exhausted from Grimm, and shooting Honey Buddies was just a palate cleanser. Light, easy, fun, zany. If you guys don't know Flulaborg, check him out. He's a character. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much. And guys, this is sadly the last question. So says this thing that I can see.
Yes.
Hi.
I had a dream and alternative ending because the ending was so, oh my god.
Yeah. Do I wish there was a different ending?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it didn't end. It was like such a fun time. I aged like an avocado because I never slept. But I was in love with everybody on the show, and actually in love with one of them, who later became you know who. So yeah, I think there's they're talking about rebooting it in some way, and they've asked for my input on it, and I would love to see sort of a rated R version of Grimm, where you could really, really sort of luxuriate in the darkness and the violence of what these fairy tales were. And, you know, we did as much gore as you can do on network TV, but I would love for it to have even gotten darker, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll see that.
Hopefully.
Cool. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you.